All right, let's get right into it. We're going to pull back the curtain on the real science of procrastination. That deep down reason you put things off, even when you totally know you shouldn't.
So I have a question for you. What are you supposed to be doing right now? Let's be real. It could be work, studying, heck, even just trying to go to sleep. There's a pretty good chance you're here with me instead of doing, well, that thing. And you know what? That's totally fine, because figuring out the why is the only way to start changing it.
First things first, we need to get something straight. This is not about being lazy. Laziness is pretty simple, right? It's just not wanting to do something. But procrastination, that's a whole different beast. It's when you actually do want to get that thing done. You just, you'll do it later, maybe tomorrow, or hey, maybe right after this.
So to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to look inside our own skulls. Because what's really going on is basically a turf war, a battle between two completely different parts of your brain.
All right, let's meet our two contenders. In this corner, we've got the planner. That's your prefrontal cortex. It's the logical, rational part of you that thinks about the future and makes all those great long-term plans. And in the other corner, we have the primate. This is your limbic system. It's old, it's impulsive, and it cares about exactly one thing: what feels good right this second.
And here's the kicker. The primate is the heavyweight champ here. No contest. See, your planner, that smart, logical brain of yours, it's kind of the new kid on the block, evolutionarily speaking. But the primate, it's been running the show for millions of years. It has so much pull, which is why when it decides it wants to watch just one more video, well, it usually gets what it wants.
So this battle inside our heads, it pushes us right into what's known as the "I'll do it later" trap. It's this vicious cycle that can feel totally impossible to break out of. Let's really dig into how this thing works.
Okay, so you might be wondering, why does this even happen? I mean, if the planner knows that finishing that report or studying for that test is good for us, why does the primate fight it tooth and nail? Well, believe it or not, the answer is it thinks it's protecting you. It just has a really outdated idea of what a threat actually is.
See, your primate brain wasn't designed for spreadsheets and 5-year plans. It evolved to handle immediate dangers. So when it senses negative feelings connected to a task, like, say, that anxiety that you might fail, or that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, it treats those feelings like a saber-toothed tiger. It sees an immediate threat. It could even be a fear that if you give it your all and still don't succeed, you won't have an excuse left. Or maybe, it's just boring. Whatever the reason, the primate has one simple solution: run away. Avoid the thing that's making you feel bad.
And this whole process actually has a scientific name. It's called self-regulation failure. It's a fancy way of saying that your urge to fix your mood right now becomes way more powerful than any plan you have for your future self. In that moment, feeling good now is the only thing that matters, not achieving some goal down the road.
And this whole mess, this entire internal battle, it all comes down to one single powerful lie. It's a lie we tell ourselves over and over again. You could even call it the procrastinator's mantra. And this is the absolute core of the trap. Your brain, it's a terrible fortune teller. It's awful at predicting how you're going to feel in the future. Think about it. When you decide to put something off, what do you feel? A wave of relief, right? Your primate brain feels that relief, and it makes a critical mistake. It thinks, that's how I'll feel when I actually do the work later. But we all know that's not true. Later, you'll feel just as anxious, probably even more so.
Okay, so that's the problem in a nutshell. We're literally wired to procrastinate. But hey, understanding the problem is the first step to solving it, right? So now, let's talk about a new battle plan, a smarter way to fight back. Here's the thing. The planner can't win this fight with brute force. Just trying to will yourself to do something, it almost never works in the long run. So instead of a head-to-head brawl, we need to get smarter. The planner needs some tools, some strategy.
I want you to think about it like this. Willpower is like a muscle, or maybe a battery. It gets tired, it runs out. There are these classic studies where they'd have people resist the temptation of freshly baked cookies. And guess what? Those people did way worse on a tough puzzle right afterward. Their self-control was just depleted. But a strategy? That's different. That's a pre-made plan that doesn't depend on how strong you feel in the moment. All right, let's get practical. It's time to build your anti-procrastination toolkit. We're going to give your planner some simple, scientifically proven tools to finally outsmart that inner primate. Okay, the number one tool in our toolkit is called an implementation intention. I know, it sounds super academic and complicated, but it's actually incredibly simple. You're basically creating an automatic, preloaded command for your brain, an if-then statement. It takes all the hard work of making a decision out of that moment of weakness.
So here's how you build one for yourself. Step 1, you have to get super specific about your if. What's the trigger? What's that exact thought or feeling that starts the whole procrastination spiral? Is it the thought, this is going to be so hard? Or maybe it's the impulse to just check Instagram for a minute. Whatever it is, that's your if. Then, step 2, you define a very specific then. And I mean specific, not just then I'll get to work. No, it has to be something tiny and concrete, like then I will open the file and write just the headline.
So to recap, our toolkit really has 3 main parts. First, you have your powerful if-then plans. The second is one you already know, but it's absolutely critical. Eliminate distractions. You have to make it harder for your primate to find that easy way out. And the third tool? This one might actually surprise you. It's practicing self-forgiveness.
Yeah, I know, it sounds kind of backward, right? So many of us are taught to be hard on ourselves that self-criticism is how you stay motivated. But the research shows the exact opposite. When you beat yourself up for procrastinating, what are you doing? You're creating more of those negative feelings, which is exactly what your primate brain was trying to avoid in the first place. It just fuels the cycle. Forgiving yourself for slipping up actually breaks that spiral of guilt and makes it way more likely you'll get back on track.
Look, this battle between your planner and your primate, it's never going to stop completely. It's going to happen again, probably tomorrow. But the difference is, now you know the truth. It's not a battle of willpower. It's a battle of strategy. So the only question left is, what's your new battle plan going to be?